Ask me my three main priorities for government, and I tell you, education, education, and education.
As leader, I will defend party policy as it is, which is to scrap tuition fees.
These were the scenes in 2010 when students took to the streets, angry at plans to increase university tuition fees.
There's no easy way to say this. We made a pledge, we didn't stick to it, and for that I am sorry.
In 2012 saw the increase in tuition fees to £9,000 under a Conservative government coalition with the Liberal Democrats, students protesting up and down the country, and a government planning on more cuts to the budget. Nick Clegg hoping to scrap tuition fees, but ultimately going back on his own word. We want to look at how Prime Minister's promised to change the education sector and what followed in the years after this promise. 1996 saw a young, hopeful Tony Blair take to the stage in Blackpool to ensure our country his political beliefs will evoke change in a disrupted, disorganised John Major Tory government. Blair's Labour Party won by a landslide, and his first big decision was so controversial it caused mass protests across the country and divided New Labour. Despite all the backlash, the policy was put into place in the Teaching and Higher Education Act of 1998, a system where students are given a sum of money on a yearly basis to live off, and like a loan, will pay the money back plus interest. This was put into place so more money could be spent on funding higher education, therefore improving its quality. In 2015, over 500,000 people made the decision to attend university in the UK. With the huge debt that students will have to face for the majority of their lives, we want to investigate whether or not going to university was the right life choice. The first part of our investigation is to look at why people want to make the choice to go to university. And because the decision to go to university is such a big deal, we asked whether or not the students thought that this decision is forced by society, specifically sixth forms, colleges or parents.
No, because I work in the health and social care sector anyway, so it was my choice and I really wanted to go.
Yeah, it was quite pushed because I was at post 16, so it's like they say like it's normally either uni or nothing really. So either you're in the wrong place if you don't want to go to uni kind of thing, so it's just pushed on you.
With students' money going into university, we wanted to find out how universities are using that funding and whether or not this has affected their approach in getting students to enrol at the university.
In terms of placements or study, so we've got partnership universities as well, field trips, all of the sort of practical aspects that students gain on top of just the teaching as well.
So I'd say they are getting value for money. It costs that amount of money to run a degree anyway. Obviously you can see here we spent a lot of money recently on facilities, spent over £300 million, all current investments. So when someone pays their 9,000 or 9,250 as it'll be a year to learn, they're not just paying to get a degree, they're paying for other things as well.
Well, they had some interesting things to say, and with the sound of it, students have nothing to worry about when it comes to tuition fees. But what do these students have to say about these rising costs for knowledge?
I do agree, but I don't. It's kind of pros and cons about it, if I'm honest. But I think it's worth it.
I think the tuition fees are alright because obviously you're playing for your place kind of thing, but I think they're a bit high, like because it's a lot of money to pay for a good education and a good job.
I think you need funding somehow. It's a shame that it has to be surplus. They're expensive, it's not cheap, but there has to be some sort of payment in place. It can't be free, otherwise it's not good for the economy at all. So.
Reason to have it in would be, I don't know, I think that money does help to go to pay for all of what we need to get our degrees. And what I don't agree is that some people can't afford the education. So I think it's harder for some people.
At this university in particular, or the facilities. You look around, you see the facilities, you see the sports clubs, you see the things that they do for you. The education's unrivaled. You can't beat it here. I feel like I'm getting value for money.
We want to know how prepared these students are for the future, so we asked them what their plans are after university.
My plan to come back to my country and work at the university. And the most important thing how I can get the experience here. Maybe I will work here 1 month or 2 months, and after that come back to my country.
So as part of my degree, I've done a sandwich placement. So I'm hoping to go into banking, which I did in my placement. So hopefully that's what I'll do.
We have concluded that a university degree is worth all the hassle, but would depend on what course you're taking. An academic degree like mathematics, law or science is crucial when applying for a job, whereas a degree in creative, performative and media courses would still benefit you, but aren't necessary when applying for a job.